Hi and welcome to the Academy of Sound. We're in the high-tech section today with Chris Calcutt from Focusrite Novation, UK product specialist. Hi there, Chris.
Hi Steve.
And you've got a brand spanking new product with you today that isn't actually out yet, I believe.
Well, that's right, yeah, we've got the Scarlett 18i20 USB audio interface. This is the flagship from the Focusrite Scarlett range.
Great stuff.
And this was announced at Winter Now 2013, and we're looking at shipping at the end of March, beginning of April. These will start to hit the stores.
Fantastic. Now, am I right in saying with this particular unit, it's basically a Focusrite Pro 40, one of the Sapphire Pro 40s, but with USB connectivity?
Well, obviously the Sapphire range we've had for quite a time, and you're right, that's connecting via FireWire. The Scarlett range has been around for a couple of years, and what we've done is we've just taken the notion of having a multi-channel interface, but with USB connectivity, and so the Scarlett 18i20 is perfect for multi-channel recording. It has 8 mic pre's built into it, and 10 outputs directly on the unit, but that can also be up to 18 inputs and 20 outputs. And that will connect to your computer via a single USB connection.
That's great.
So really we've kind of opened up the range of interfaces to those people that may not have FireWire connectivity on their machines, and as I say, we've opened it up to USB devices as well.
Great stuff. And can you give us a closer look?
Of course, yeah, love to.
Great stuff, thank you.
So here we have the brand new Focusrite Scarlett 18i20 audio interface. And the first thing that you notice is that we've followed exactly the same sort of design aesthetic as we have across the Scarlett range, with this wonderful red anodized aluminium case. On the front panel we'll see that we've got the control over all the different microphone preamps and line inputs here on the gain controls. On this side here we also have a pair of microphone and line inputs which also double up as instrument inputs. This will allow you to plug your guitar or your bass guitar directly into the front of the 18i20 to record directly into your software. Here we have phantom power switches which let us provide phantom power to any condenser or ribbon microphones that you might have. We have an instrument switch, so if we are plugging guitars or basses directly into the unit, we can just turn on a high impedance instrument switch to get the levels just right. Over here we have an LED meter which shows you the sorts of levels that are coming into the unit, and this is really useful just to help you from stopping to distort the sound as you're recording. On the far side over here we have a dedicated monitor control which will control the volume of your speakers. Underneath that we also have a dim switch which lets you bring the volume down. This is really useful if you need to talk to somebody whilst the music is still playing, so rather than having to stop the music you can just lower the volume. Next to the dim switch we have a mute switch as well, and this will just kill the sound coming out of outputs 1 and 2. Further along we have 2 independent headphone outputs. Now these are really useful if you need to set up submixes and send those to different people via their headphones. For example, if you're recording a band and perhaps the drummer may need a bit more bass than guitar and keyboard and vocals, you can set up a submix in the Scarlett Mix Control software and let the drummer have the sound that he wants. If you're recording the vocalist at the same time, they may want to have more guitar and more keyboards and a bit less bass and drums. Again, we can set up a little submix in the Scarlett Mix Control software and independently send that to a second headphone output. Each of the headphone outputs have their own independent volume control as well. On the back of the unit, here we have a further 6 inputs. This takes the total input count to 8 analog ins on the unit itself. There is a way to get more ins and outs on the Scarlett 18i20, which we'll see in a moment. But these additional inputs let you access the microphone preamps, and as they're built around combination inputs, we can either plug in XLR connections or we can plug jack connections into the centre. Next to the inputs here we have a set of 10 outputs. The outputs in the white band here represent outputs 1 and 2, and these are the ones that you would generally connect to your main speakers. But we also have another 4 stereo pairs or 8 independent mono outputs available to us as well. Again, we can send different signals to different devices. One of the incredible things about the 18i20 is that we can get up to 18 inputs and 20 outputs through this unit alone to your computer via a single USB cable. As we've got 8 microphone pre's built into the unit, we still need to be able to access another amount of microphone preamps or inputs. Here we have an optical input and output, and this lets me plug in a device that has an optical input or output and actually join the two units together to give me more inputs and outputs. For example, the Focusrite Octa-Pre and the Octa-Pre Dynamic make a perfect partner for the 18i20 as they both have optical outputs. Next to the optical in and out, we have a word clock connection. This is useful if you need to sync this unit to an external device. We have our USB 2 connection for connecting to the computer, and also a MIDI in and a MIDI out. Again, this is really useful if you've got any MIDI instruments or MIDI controllers that you might want to connect to your DAW software, and they have 5-pin DIN MIDI plugs. We can use the 18i20 as a MIDI interface as well. Next to the MIDI in and out, we have our SPDIF, which is a stereo digital input and output. So as you can see, the Scarlett 18i20 offers a huge track count and lets you record multi-channel recordings easily to your DAW.
Chris, great stuff. Thank you very, very much indeed for that. Looks like it's going to be a hot product for 2013, definitely. And just to reiterate, release date tentative is?
Well, as I say, we're looking at the end of March, beginning of April when these will be installed.
That's great stuff. And you can pre-order that direct from our website now, www.theacademysound.co.uk, or alternatively, give us a buzz, 01782 205 100. Once again, Chris, thank you very, very much for coming in.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Great stuff.
Cheers.